So inflations in interest rate this is explained through by official equations. R is equals to I minus pi, where R is the real interest rate, I is the nominal interest rate, and pi is the inflationary effect or inflation rate. So first of all, we will know about the nominal interest rate and the real interest rate. So a real interest rate is an interest rate that has been adjusted to remove the effect of inflations or reflects the real cost of the funds to the borrower and the real yield to the lenders or to investors, while a nominal interest rate refers to the interest rate before taking inflation into an account. In nominal interest rate, dear students, the inflationary effect are included, while in the real interest rate, that is totally excluded from the inflationary effect. Nominal interest rate that can also refers to the advertised or stated interest rate on a loan without taking into account any fee or compounding of the interest. A real interest, or this one, a real interest rate, dear students, is adjusted to remove the effect of the inflations, as I said earlier, and gives us the real rate of the security, bond or loan. While a nominal interest, this I, a nominal interest rate that is refers to this I, this is nominal interest rate, while this R is the real interest rate. So this I, nominal interest rate, that is refers to the interest rate before taking inflations into account, means that here look at, if we do the formula, so in the formula we can see that in the nominal interest rate pi is included. And what is pi? Pi is our inflationary effect that are included here in the in the nominal interest rate, while in the real interest rate we are subtracting that pi, that inflationary effect. So while when we calculate the real interest rate, so we need to subtract the actual or expected rate of inflations from the nominal, means R is equals to I minus phi. I means nominal interest rate minus pi inflationary rate. So if we want to find out the real interest rate, so from nominal interest rate I, we will subtract the inflationary effect pi. And in this way we will finding out the real interest rate R. But in case of nominal interest rate, which is I, so this I, that is the combination of R real interest rate plus pi. Pi here is the inflationary effect and R is near real interest rate. So I consists of the combination of real plus pi. It means that nominal interest, in the nominal interest, the inflationary effect are including, inflation rate are including. A real interest rate, dear students, and this equation is called Fisher equation. So the real rate is the interest rate that takes inflation into account. This means it adjusts for inflations and gives the real rate of the bond or loan. Look at being an investors, we will check out the real interest rate. To calculate the real interest rate, you first need the nominal interest rate. Then we should minus the inflation rate from the nominal interest rate and we'll find out the real interest rate. This is point to be noted, dear students, that the real interest rate should be considered predictive when the true rate of inflation is unknown or expected. For example, look at if I deposit money in Azizi Bank and Azizi Bank gave me 10% interest. But at the end of the year, I will receive 10,000 on that 1 lakh as an interest. So this 10% is called nominal interest, and on the basis of that 10,000 I am receiving, that is nominal payments. But look at if the inflation rate is, let's suppose 5%. So my real return is not 10,000. My real return is 5,000. Why? 5% is inflationary effect, devaluation factors. So in actual, I am receiving 5,000. My real return is not 10,000. That is my nominal return. My real return is 5,000. Why? Because 5% is inflation. So we will subtract this one. I'm giving you another example. Let's suppose a bank loan a person's 2 lakh to purchase a house at the rate of 3%. The nominal interest rate not factoring in the inflations, so assume that the inflation rate is 2%. So the real interest rate the borrower is paying is 1%. The real interest rate the bank is receiving 1%. That means that the purchasing power of the bank only increased by 1%. So the real interest rate gives lenders and investors an idea of the real rate that they received. This also gives them a better idea of the rate at which their purchasing power are increased or that are decreasing. So they can estimate the real rate of returns by comparing the difference between the bond yield or treasury yield or loan yield to the inflation protected securities. Dear students, the nominal interest rates refers to the interest rates before the taking the inflations into the account, means that the inflationary effects are included in the nominal interest rates. We can say that this interest rate quoted on the bonds and loans. The bond rate, that is nominal interest rate. The nominal interest rates is a simple concept to understand, like if you borrow $100 at 6% interest rate, so you can expect to pay $6 as an interest without taking inflation into account after 1 year. The disadvantages of using the nominal interest rate is that it does not adjust for the inflation rate. It's exclude of the inflation rate. So short-term nominal interest rate are set by central banks mostly. These rates are the basis for other interest rates that are charged by bank and other financial institutions to the consumers. Central banks may decide to keep nominal rate at a low level in order to increase the economic activities, while low nominal rate encourage consumers to take on more debts and increase their spendings. So Fisher provides these equations, and it helps us, the investors, while calculating their real interest rate by subtracting the inflationary effects from the nominal interest rate. Sometimes we are making investments in such bonds or such equities that over there, we can give loan to someone. If we don't know, if the inflation rate are higher than our nominal interest rate. So in such cases, we are losing. For example, if the interest rate is 8%, or let's suppose 5%, and the inflation rate is 8%. So we are receiving 5% interest after 1 year in 5,000 on 1 lakh deposits. But actually 8,000 is, this 1 lakh value is devaluing. So it means that we are losing here 5 minus 8,000 minus 3,000. Still in this, from this investment we are receiving 5,000, but still we are losing 3,000. So that's why these Fisher equations, they play a vital role. Interest rates and returns. So we studied the interest rates and returns. What does it mean by this one? So interest rate means the rate at which interest is offered, so that rate is called interest rate. Returns means when we are making some investment and after that we are getting some fixed or variable return in shape of interest or dividend, and similarly from the sales of the goods or from the sales of the security we are getting some extra money, so that is called returns. So for any security, the rate of return is the payments to the owner plus the change in its value. That is called returns. Look it, I purchase a bond with face value 100. Clear? With 10% interest. Now after 1 year I receive 10%, means $10. And now I sold out that bond in the market on $115, more than on their purchasing price. So $10 is the interest and $15 is the capital gain. When we combine it, so this is called returns of that bond. The returns to the bonds depends upon its stream of the coupon payments and the price the bond received when it's sold out. That is the returns. Look it, if I only received the interest on the bond yearly, so this is the return. And when we sold out at a higher price the bond, so that capital gain plus the interest, both two are called returns on a bond. If the bond sells at a price in excess of its original purchasing price, the owner received a capital gain, which increases his or her return. And if the bond sells at the price below the original purchasing price, so the owner suffers a capital loss, which decreases his or her total returns. Look at, dear students, if I purchase a bond, clear, if I purchase a bond with 900, I purchase a bond. Purchase price of bond is equals to 900. Clear? And face value or par value, that is equals to 1000. Means I purchase the bond on discount price. And interest rate is 10%. Now, the bond maturity is 5 years. Clear now? So, look at, after 1 year, I will receive how much? 10%. The 1000 face value 10% is 100. After 2nd year, I will receive again fixed amount 10%. Similarly, on 3rd year, I will receive $100. On 4th year, I will receive $100. and on 5th year I will receive this $100 plus 1,000 capital. So this all these when we are combined, so 1,500. This total 1,500 is called returns of the bond. Clear? But look at, after 1 year I received the 100 interest, but when I checked out, so the market price was increased from 900 to now 950. So I sold out this bond on 950. So here I received the 100 interest plus the $50 capital gain. So now this 150 is the return on the bond. Clear or not clear? Hope you will understand this one. So this 150 will increase. Look it. If the bond sell at a price in excess of its original purchasing price. We purchased it on 900, but now we sold out it on 950. So the owner received a capital gain. The $50 capital gain we received. And that $50 will increase the return. How? They are increasing the return. 100 was returns after 1 year. And now we received how much? 100 is interest plus $50 is our capital gain. So our total return is now how much? 150. Clear? In second case, if the bond sells at the price below its original purchasing price, so the owner suffer a capital loss which decrease the total returns. How? Look it. We received, in second case now, we received after 1 year 100 interest. But when I looked out the market, so the market price of the bond was decreased further to 800. How much? To 800. So I was worried that gradually the price of the bond is decreasing. So I should sold out it. Now I sold out the bond on 800. Yeah, let's suppose 700 and 700 and how much? 40. Let's suppose 840. 840 is the market price, current market price of the bond now. So I was thinking that further their price is not decreasing, so I sold out the bond on 840. Look it, after 1 year I received the 100 interest, but now I sold out the bond on 840. So what does it mean? On 900 I purchased, but I sold out this on 840. So how much I get the loss? Automatic, I got the loss of what? On 900 I purchased and minus how much? I sold out at 840. So $60, this is capital loss to me. Now $100 I received as an interest, but $60 I what? I lost, capital loss.
So what is my total return in this case now? Is equals to 40. This is my 40 is what? That is my return. So they decrease my what's income. If the bond sells at the price below to the original purchasing price, so the owner suffer capital loss. So we do the capital loss of $60, which decrease our returns. In first case, our return was 150 because $50 was our capital gain and $100 was our interest. But in second case, our return is what? Our return is $40. Why? $100 we received interest, but $60 we are in loss. So $40 was our returns. Hope you will understand this point. Returns on bond. So this topic and some important things that are left, so we will discuss in our upcoming class, inshallah. For now, Allah Hafiz.